The first thing you need to do is wedge out your clay. And then you want to push it down so that it's not thicker than about 1/2 inch so that it can roll out in the slab roller. So next thing, when using the slab roller, make sure to take care that you don't put your hands in the slab roller while you're rolling, and carefully lift up the canvas and put it down lightly so that dust doesn't kick up. You're going to sandwich the clay between 2 canvases. So I put one canvas down, then I put the clay down next to the roller, and then I put another canvas down, again being careful not to have dust kick up. Next, I'm going to put the large canvas down, and then I have both hands on the wheel to roll and press the canvas. This will give me a flat, perfect piece of clay. While doing this, it's only one person at the station. There should be nobody within 5 feet from you while you're rolling. Make sure to stop it before it hits the end, and then just roll it back and stop it before it hits the board. Nobody should be in front of the machine or around you while you're doing this. And make sure you have both hands on the wheel while you do it. Then carefully lift the canvas and put it down without kicking up dust. Then you lift off the canvas, carefully pull your clay back, peel it off, and you have a perfectly flat piece of clay. Next, we're going to start out with our flat piece of clay, and we're going to make a soap dish. So I'm going to cut it according to the measurements, and they're in your Google Classroom, so you can check that out. And I'm using a ruler so I get the correct measurements. I believe it was 4 inches by 2.5 inches. So I'm going to cut the bottom first, and I'm going to use that as a template for the sides to cut out. I'm using a needle tool to cut. After I've cut out my base, now I'm going to use it to trace to cut out the side edges. So I just stuck it over the piece of clay and traced it, and then I'm just going to cut this one in half so I have my walls for either side of it. And then I'll need to do this again for the sides. So I'm going to use one of the sides to cut one of the other walls, and then another one, so they're all the same thickness. Then I'm just gonna clear the area so that I have a space to work in. I suggest putting your piece on plastic so it doesn't stick to the table or the board, but I didn't have any on hand here, but I would say you should do that. Because it's a soap dish, we need to have drainage holes, and you want them at least as big as the bottom of your pencil eraser. So I'm just gonna do that right now. I put about 4 in, and then I'm just gonna line up where the walls are gonna go on all the sides. And then next I'm gonna score all the side edges and then add a little bit of moisture and attach each one. We will be decorating these. You're gonna fill it up with designs, you're gonna add stamps to it, and then carve out wherever you have thick spots on it. So right now I'm just scoring everything. And if something doesn't fit, you can always just cut another piece in the right size that you need. So I add a little bit of water there, and now I'm gonna push the walls together and then use the flat edge of the modeling tool to join them, and then a brush, my finger, to smooth them out. Make sure you support the wall while you do this. It's not gonna look perfect while you're first doing it. You can always straighten the walls out and make it nice and neat after you've built the whole thing. And any part that you have a seam, it needs to be blended and joined. If you don't join all your edges and make sure that you smooth out your seams, what will happen is your piece will fall apart. It'll either fall apart in the kiln or it'll fall apart when you pick it up or when it dries. So you want to make sure you take the time to do this. You shouldn't have any seams. So on this one, it was a little short, so I'm just gonna have to cut another piece and take that one off. So you just adjust it as you go, and if it's not long enough, you can just use that one as a guide. And then just make it a little longer or shorter according to what you're building. Now, be creative with these. You guys can have a theme to it. It could be seashells, or you could pick a holiday that you want to do. But just try and keep in mind that these will be functioning soap dishes, so make something cool that you want to keep, or something for a present for somebody. And then after I join the outside, or I'm sorry, the inside, we're gonna flip it over and then I'm gonna join the inside of it. And then if you lose the detail on the holes inside of your soap dish, you can just go back in and reopen them up. You will have to take the time to do that, so that, because it'll shrink when it gets fired and you don't want the holes to close up. So again, I'm gonna flip it over. It's not quite leather hard. I would suggest when you add the feet to it, wait till it's leather hard. So wait maybe a day wrapped up. But I'm gonna show you how to actually put the feet on, but mine's gonna indent in just because I'm just showing you, but it's not leather hard. So wait till it is to put the feet on, or else it will kind of droop in the middle. But make sure that you close off all the seams and do it on the bottom as well, and then we'll decorate it and put the feet on. And then after you've done this, you can kind of reshape it, make it nice and neat, clear up any edges that need to be cleared up and straightened out. See how mine's kind of sinking in there? If it's leather hard, it wouldn't do this. At this stage, I definitely would put it on plastic so it doesn't stick to the table. Here I'm just straightening out the walls and smoothing things out, and then you can fix the holes at the bottom, the drainage holes, if you need to. So I've transferred it to plastic so it won't stick to the table, and then I've picked some stamps that I'm gonna test on this because you're gonna want to decorate your project. When placing it in, there's two different kinds of stamps. These you just press right in. Make sure the clay is not super wet, or else it'll just get stuck and make a mess inside of it. It needs to be like clay that you get right out of the bag. And so again, I'm trying that again, where you just push it in and then you peel it out. And then this is a different kind of stamp. On this kind of stamp, you can push it directly into the clay on the table. And then you just cut out your design. You can cut out in any shape you want it. I'm just cutting out the basic shape just to show you how to do it. And then anything that you attach onto it, you're going to score the edges, and then score the edges of where you're gonna stick it on, add some water to it, and then fuse down the edges and smooth it out with a brush. So right here, I'm just cleaning up the edges of the star that I had cut out with the stamp before I stick it on. and then I'm going to attach it onto the side of my soap dish. And it's best to decorate it when it's leather hard. Mine's box I have right here isn't quite leather hard. It's still pretty pliable, so I would wrap it up and maybe wait a class session and then do it the following day, and then it'll be leather hard. And then at that stage you can also attach the feet. But just to show you guys, I'm going to attach a piece on just so you can see how to do it, and I'll put the feet on too. So you just take your piece that you want to attach on and you score the back of it, and then add a little bit of moisture to it, and then I'm going to score the side edge of the soap dish, and then just press it on firmly. Support the walls when you're doing this. And now I'm going to support the wall with my hand on one side, and then I'm going to fuse down the edges all the way around. If you don't do this, then your piece that you've attached on will just pop off when it dries, or it'll pop off in the kiln. So you want to take the time to do this. And keep in mind, we're attaching something on, so it might make the wall too thick, and because of that, you're gonna have to carve out on the inside to thin the wall out so that nothing's thicker than the top part of your pinky. So right now I'm just smoothing out the edges and cleaning it up. Try and take the time on this stage. I'm not gonna take a lot of time just because this is a demo, but you'll want to take the time to really clean up your edges and make it nice and neat. So now, because it's a little too thick, I'm just going to take the flat part of the tool here and I'm going to scrape off where I stuck on the star shape, and I'm going to do that on the inside. So just dig it out and support it when you're doing it, and then take your finger with water or a brush and then smooth it out, because you don't want those sharp edges after doing this. So you just have to feel around, and anytime you attach anything, feel where it's thick and then carve it out. So you're gonna decorate your project. You're gonna fill it up completely with designs. That's just showing you how to put one thing on there, just the basics of it, but I want you guys to fill up the whole thing. You can draw designs on your piece, you can add stamps, you can have a theme to it. Right now I'm cutting the feet that are going to go on the very bottom, and again, wait till it's leather hard to put this on, or else it's going to sink in the middle. Mine's not leather hard, so it's going to sink, but I just want to show you how to put it on there. So I just cut some little strips that are going to be the feet, so that when we actually put soap in there, when it's been fired, it has the drainage holes and that it can actually drain out, because it'll just be in a puddle of water if you don't do this. So I'm just cutting them to whatever size that I want. You could use coils too. I'm just doing little strips and I'm scoring them, adding some water, and then I'm going to join them by fusing the edges. So just squish it down on the little sides all the way around, and then take a brush to smooth out any hard edges afterwards. And that's how you make the basic outline for your soap dish. When you flip it back over, you can fix the walls and straighten everything out and smooth everything out, and then just decorate it how you want to decorate it. And then if the holes in the center of it have gotten a little squished, you can fix those as well.